Investing in Dubai property can make you very wealthy, but it can also wipe out your savings, kill your cash flow, and trap you into a financial nightmare. Most investors here have no idea how close they are to a disaster, and no one is going to warn them. But let me do that now. So if you're planning to invest or you already have, I need you to watch this video till the end, because at the end I'll give you something that could literally save your next investment. I've seen it all in this market, and I'm no genius. I just put it on practice for me, my clients, and my friends. The overnight millionaires, the silent regrets. I've spoken to dozens of investors who tell me quietly, I bought wrong, I didn't think it through, can't exit, and I can't rent. It's been on the market forever and I didn't even get one lead. And honestly, it breaks my heart because I know for a fact that all of it could be avoided. Here's exactly what they missed. First of all, you need a buffer or you'll burn. Before we talk profits, let's talk protection. If you don't have at least 6 months of emergency funds, don't buy, no matter how urgent the agent says it is, because the moment a tenant cancels or the rates go up or you lose your job, you'll be forced to sell fast, cheap, and desperate. Smart investors play defense first. The amateurs, on the other side, they get eaten alive. So before investing in your next one, make sure you have a buffer. Another one, stop chasing quick flips. Dubai is not Vegas. Actually, any place is not Vegas, especially in property investing. If you're still thinking of flipping off lands specifically for quick cash, wake up. That game worked for some before, but markets evolve, they also mature, and the regulation tightens up. Exit plans afterwards collapse, and Dubai rewards the patient ones, mainly the long-term thinkers, the ones who see 10 years ahead and structure their portfolio in a very sustainable way with optimized ROI. You are not here to gamble. Forget that. You're here to build wealth. You better know your numbers. Otherwise, you're just guessing, not investing. Let me ask you something. Do you actually know what your real payback period is on your unit? Your cap rate, maybe your internal rate of return, IRR? If not, well, you're not investing, you're hoping. These KPIs like ROI, cap rate, GRM, IRR, payback period sounds technical, very financial, but these are the language and sound of money. And if you are serious, I'll show you how to master this in my UAE Property Accelerator, my best-selling program where I break down all of this using my very own past investment cases. You'll never see property the same way again. I promise you that. We apply this to real life, to my own investment, to my past clients' investments. We dissect actual past deals, show you what worked, what didn't, and why. Honestly, this insight, you'll need a Harvard MBA, plus 10 years in the field to even get close by. If you're serious about winning in the Dubai property market, click the link in the description. Book your first call and join the program right now. Here's where the game really starts. Leverage. Leverage can make you rich or bankrupt. Mortgages, loans, strategic refinancing. Most people just get the first mortgage they're offered and hope for the best. That's a mistake, a very expensive one. You need to know what this loan will actually cost you. That's why I always try to keep my loans below 7% interest rate, whether that is in property, other kind of loans, personal financing, and so on. And that is a big insight that I think I would like you to definitely keep an eye on. You also need to know how to use the equity right. Maybe use the equity from one property to fund another investment. How to build a leveraged property stack that compounds interest and doesn't choke it. And by this interest, I mean in your favor. Compounds actual cash flow for you. Honestly, to this moment, I don't always understand why people don't use leverage to their advantage, because that has been the biggest, and I really mean it, the biggest asset in my experience that helped me to actually boost my investments, boost my net worth, and so on. Of course, over leveraging is bad and you should definitely avoid it. That's why I mention always that you need to have some buffer, However, you also need some kind of months saved up. So, whatever rates go up and you can't actually influence that, maybe they're not fixed in your portfolio, they're variable. That's when you need to actually plan for that. However, if you rationally look at all your investments and you just by the rule of thumb keep them under 7%, I think you will definitely see what I mean by compounding in the long term. For example, I even hear people paying their credit cards or even having late penalty fees on that, but still not looking into getting a refinance or a mortgage for their house because somehow they feel that if they pay it outright, they don't have any ties with the bank and they are more independent and saving more money. However, that's obviously not the case because the fees charged by a credit card would be at least 3 to 5 times higher than the interest that you pay for a mortgage. And yes, we go deep inside these strategies and many more in the accelerator. And trust me, you need this knowledge if you're going to scale. I mean, if you only need one property to bring you some cash flow, then that's probably not the right program for you. But if you want to accelerate and actually scale your investments and basically use someone else's money, in this case, the bank's money, to foster your investments, to grow your portfolio, you need to know how to apply this right. Also, don't build a tower on Toothpicks. Even if you have the buffer, don't overstretch. I see this every week. Investors with 3 to 4 to even more off-plan units, no clear exit strategy, and no idea how they will pay up all those payments in the payment plans from those units if things go really sideways. Real estate is a long-term game, and I always repeat this in all the videos. If you're stressed now, you will suffer later. Play the long-term game. Stack slow and stack smart. Yes, I know it. It's not as sexy as it could be in some other industries, and maybe you want it to feel and be more appealing to you, and you hear all these stories from everyone flipping houses and making those returns. They happen, but these are really long-term planned investments. And even for me, when I was getting those 50% returns per year, I wasn't really planning for that. I was a bit lucky with that, and also I just planned into a long-term strategy that will definitely pay me off at some point. And in that sense, the point came. So sometimes it will just pop up, and it's definitely better to feel better here, in your right mind, and know for a fact that you're always able to keep up with your payment plan, that you're not overstretched, and if things go sideways, you are not going to die. Another important thing is to not always self-manage, or if you do so, you really need to know what you're doing. Otherwise, just delegate it to a professional and reputable property manager. You can manage the unit yourself if you have time, the patience, and the know-how. But don't let greed make you blind to reality. Sometimes paying a reputable property manager is the smarter move. They know the laws, they know the market, they handle the headaches. It's about maximizing the net returns, not saving 5% while burning 20 hours a month. Honestly, I felt it on myself. I always try to do things by myself, at least at the beginning, to see and learn how this process works, which I actually advice for. You really need to know how this process works if you want to scale, or at least, as in every kind of job, you really need to know what you are doing before employing the other people to do this for you. In this case, it's exactly the same. It is very much advisable for you to actually understand the process in and out, and then give it to a property manager, and you will have better expectations from that. Because let's face it, especially if you're new to this market and you don't know how it works, you might have some expectations and they will not be met if you don't know the ins and outs of this market. Also, of course, another thing which I always say, it's never buy out of pressure. Honestly, stop doing that. Let me say this out loud. If you feel pressured, just don't buy. Not from a developer, not from an agent, not even from yourself. Emotions will always trick you into thinking that if you don't buy this one, you'll miss out forever. False. There's always and really always another deal. And most importantly, the right deal will never have to be forced. Act from clarity, not from fear. To be honest, even I had some situations where I actually felt like I lost some good deals and I wasn't sure if I'll ever be able to get those deals. Well, guess what? Even after 2 years, there were some distress sales. There were just some good deals popping on the market, which would bring me even more return than the ones that I was looking at and having this regret that I wasn't investing in. So yeah, while it might be very appealing and it might feel you frustrated and feel like you're really going to regret not getting into the deal, trust me, if it's a forced one specifically, it's probably the right thing to do, to just wait and see what other deals will pop up, because they will definitely come around. Dubai is built to excite you. The showrooms, the renderings, the pools, the FOMO. But those who get rich, actually wealthy, are cold-blooded observers. They run the numbers and they ignore the hype. They buy when it does make sense, and they walk away when they are rushed into something or the things just don't make up. If you want to win here, especially at this moment when the prices are quite high, then turn off the emotions and turn on the maths. There will be always more opportunities. Missed a launch, got outbeat, lost a deal, good. That means something better is coming for you. And you just bought yourself the chance to do it smarter. There are always and will always be opportunities in Dubai. The city is growing and expanding. Honestly, even in well-developed cities, there will always be opportunities. The population is booming, the infrastructure is leveling up every single year, but the people who win are the ones who are prepared for the next one, not stuck crying over the last ones. Lastly, and not least important, is to surround yourself with people who've actually done it, not just talked about it on somewhere in the internet. If you're taking advice from people who've never owned, scaled, or managed properties, you're obviously gambling with your future. You need people who've done the deals, made the mistakes, and built real portfolios, maybe not as sexy as the other ones that are talking on in the internet, but at least it worked, it scaled, and it will definitely help you to do it the right way. Honestly, that's exactly why I created the UAE Property Accelerator. It's not just a course. It's the only program in the region that gives you the insider knowledge, strategy, breakdowns, and one-on-one guidance how to do it right. I'm not gonna sell you 20-30% increase and flipping off plans. It's not gonna be as appealing, but I'm gonna give you the real hard truth. And yes, the results speak for themselves. And if you want to see more, follow me on Instagram at Alex Gorasov, and you will see that I'm posting there very often and regularly on my clients' calls. I'm sometimes even posting the real deals that we've closed and the actual numbers that we got for them through mortgages, refinancing, and any other financial tools. I promised you a bonus. Here it is, and it's a powerful one. If you've watched this far, I want to reward you with something extra special. DM me the word risk on Instagram, and I'll personally send you a private video breakdown of one of my most profitable Dubai investments. I'll show you how I structured the deal, how I use the leverage, the ROI breakdown, and how I do it differently today. This is not public, it's not on YouTube. I will only send it to serious investors who take their time to show up like you did today. So go to Instagram at Alex Gorasov, DM me risk, and I'll send it over. And if you're serious about building your property portfolio the right way, click the link in the description, join the UAE Property Accelerator program, and let's scale it together. Because the truth is, Dubai real estate isn't risky when you know how to play this game right. And as always, if you found this video helpful and useful, then hit that thumbs up button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.